News at Noon program. I'm Jerry Tope.
And I am Kendra Cook. The Southwest TV Translator Association supports the news, and DCTV is the broadcasting producer for this program.
Here at the News at Noon show, we present news we hope you'll find interesting and report on local issues and events. Call us with your news tips or topics you'd like to see covered at 970-677-4119.
Today's show is live Monday at noon and rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and re-aired on Thursday at noon, 3 and 6.
Today is June 5th, 2017. Now here's the news.
A Cortez man faces multiple felony drug charges after he allegedly imported cocaine and steroids from Mexico into Colorado, according to court and police records. Ryan Lee Buffington pleaded not guilty to the charges last Thursday in Montezuma District Court. His trial is set for October 16th, with Durango attorney Katie Whitney representing him. According to a November 2016 arrest affidavit written by former Cortez Police Department Detective Tom Quinnett, local law enforcement officials received various anonymous tips in the summer and fall of 2015 that Buffington and several others were crossing the Mexico border to bring narcotics and anabolic steroids to Cortez. Sources also told police that Buffington was promoting steroids at local gyms, according to the affidavit. In November 2015, local and state law enforcement officials investigated a tip that suggested Buffington and several of his associates were driving to Cortez with cocaine and steroids from Puerto Rico and other locations in Mexico, but they were not able to intercept the vehicles. Following another tip from a confidential source on May 9, 2016, Cortez police obtained a search warrant for Buffington's Cortez home. Inside, they found and seized cocaine, steroids, drug paraphernalia, firearms, other illegal weapons, cell phones, and a fire department radio. On the kitchen counter in the home, police found a digital scale and a white residue all over the top of the scale, according to the affidavit. The substance was presumed to be cocaine after a field test. Police also found several bags containing a white powdery substance presumed to be cocaine. The total amount of cocaine found in the residence was about 15.7 grams. Also found in the home were about 15 bottles of different types of steroids, including pills and syringes. According to a criminal complaint filed by 22nd Judicial District Attorney Will First, Buffington faces 10 criminal charges, including 7 felonies and 3 misdemeanors. He has been charged with 1 felony count of distribution of a controlled substance, 1 felony count of possession of a controlled substance, 1 felony count of possession with intent to manufacture or distribute a controlled substance, and 1 felony count of possession of a dangerous weapon. He also faces 3 felony counts as a special offender, which allege that he committed drug felonies under certain circumstances, including while he was in possession of a large quantity of drugs and a deadly weapon, and that he committed the offenses as part of a pattern of criminal drug activity. Buffington also faces 2 misdemeanor counts of possession of an illegal weapon and 1 misdemeanor count of possession of anabolic steroids.
Reported in the Cortez Journal, Noel Cooley has resigned as manager of the Cortez, Colorado Welcome Center, a month after banning marijuana advertising from brochures at the state-funded center. City officials confirmed this last week. Cortez Human Resources Director Gay Hall said Cooley gave her notice on May 26 after working at the Welcome Center for more than 2 years. Hall said he hopes to hire a current employee to replace her. In the meantime, Assistant Manager Sandra Crow will act as interim manager, according to the news release from a city special events planner, Joan Brooks. Hall said it will likely take some time before a new manager can be found. They'll normally look internally to find the first replacement. If city can't find a current employee to take over, the city will advertise the position to the general public. Cooley refused to comment on her reasons for resigning, but the news release said she wanted to spend more time with her cats and was ready to retire. Noel has been a great asset to our city in helping our visitors, which are so critical to our local economy, City Manager Shane Hale said in the release. Cooley's departure leaves uncertain the future of her possible Welcome Center policy on local marijuana advertising, which he recently decided to write. Although all 10 Colorado Welcome Centers receive funding from the Colorado Tourism Office, the City of Cortez has taken over management of the local center for the past several years and controls all hiring decisions. Cooley was the second Welcome Center manager to be hired on as a city employee following her predecessor Tiffany Alexander in October 2014. Her last day in the position will be June 9th. In early May, Cooley banned the display of new brochures that contained ads 4 local marijuana dispensaries, claiming that the decision was handed down from the Colorado Tourism Office as part of a recent review of its policy on marijuana advertising. The State Tourism Office, however, refuted the claims and indicated that the City of Cortez was breaking from state policy. Kristen Graber, a public relations representative at the State Tourism Office, said that the office was reviewing its policy and it has not directed welcome centers to stop displaying the ads during the review process. Kathy Ritter, director of Colorado Tourism Office, and Taryn Mulch, the state's interim director of visitor services, have sent a request to Colorado Attorney General Cynthia Kaufman's office asking for guidance on how to apply marijuana advertising regulations to the 10 official welcome centers scattered around the state. The state office guidelines for brochure display also state that each welcome center manager has a requirement to establish a written policy for distributing local tourism brochures. When asked about her ban and the apparent conflict between local and state policy, Cooley said she planned to draft a policy for the Welcome Center on displaying advertisements from local marijuana dispensaries with the help of City Attorney Mike Green. Green could not be reached for comment. She did not complete that policy before announcing her resignation.
According to the Cortez Journal, the Montezuma County Sheriff's Office has concluded its investigation into the death of a man who apparently ended his life near Mancos in early May. Sheriff's deputies responded to a home on County Road 31 at about 12:27 a.m. on May 4th, according to a recently released report, after a homeowner called to report that 31-year-old Christopher Hendry, who had been staying with the family for several months, was unresponsive in the garage. About 2 hours earlier, Hendry had posted a Facebook Live video in which he apologized to family members and said he hoped he could possibly find peace somewhere, according to the report. He had been discovered by his girlfriend around midnight. His death was ruled a suicide by County Coroner George Devers. Montezuma Detective Bryce Queen said the video Hendry had uploaded just before ending his life was hidden from his public profile by the time investigators were able to examine the cell phone he used to film it. But he did leave behind another Facebook video posted about 12 hours before his death. In it, Hendry is shown singing an original country music song he called Take It Easy, about loneliness, breakups, and other struggles of life. Despite the song's melancholy words, it has an upbeat tune, and the singer ends the video with a big smile at the camera. Hendry was from Blanco, New Mexico, but according to the sheriff's report, he had been living with his girlfriend's family in Montezuma County since February. He had recently lost his job on an oil field in North Dakota and was involved in custody disputes with his former wife about their young son. The report cited statements from relatives who said Hendry had made attempts on his own life at least twice before, but was not under any care from a doctor or taking medications. According to a toxicology report, Hendry was under the influence of alcohol and cocaine at the time of his death. Queen said it took several weeks to close the investigation because the sheriff's office needed to inform Hendry's immediate family about the facts, as well as get the results from the toxicology report. The sheriff said that it was the first time he had seen Facebook used to broadcast a suicide note in Montezuma County. Facebook's community standards say the site prohibits content that promotes or encourages suicide or any other type of self-injury. In 2016, 9 suicides were reported in Montezuma County, the highest number in 4 years, according to crime statistics compiled by the Sheriff's Office. ColoradoCrisisServices.org has helpful information online for those in need of help, or call their hotline 1-844-493-TALK. That's 844-493-8255.
From the Cortez Journal, Mancos School District's huge campus upgrade project has been recommended for approval by a state board. The Colorado Department of Education Building Excellent Schools Today BEST board on May 18th recommended granting the district $19.79 million for the project, which has a total price tag of about $25 million. CDE Representative Anna Fitzer said the BEST board considered 48 projects in the state for funding and recommended 28 for approval. The recommendations will go to the State Board of Education, which may approve the projects or reject the list at its regular meeting next month, Fitzer said. The board has never rejected the list of projects the BEST board recommended for approval. In November's election, the district plans to ask voters in the community for a bond issue as part of the project. If passed, the bond will raise an additional $5 million for upgrades. According to the superintendent, Brian Hansen, the tax hike would mean an extra $63 per year per $100,000 of assessed value for homeowners in the district. Mancos Elementary School has been awarded $110,000 Great Outdoors Colorado grant, which will go toward the project and help fund a school playground. The district also plans to pursue a second $375,000 GOCO grant that would pay for upgrades to the school's athletic fields. School board member Monty Giles helped present the Mancos project to the best board. He said the project was near the bottom of the board's list and wasn't set to make the cut. But board members and CDE staff were able to add 2 more school projects to the list, including Mancos, he said. Giles said credit is also due to grant writer Clara Martinez and architect Dennis Humphreys. The upgrade will allow the Fighting Blue Jays to live on for the next few decades.
McPhee Reservoir managers have announced that rafting flows on the Dolores River below the dam will start up again. The Cortez Journal reported that the next bump is in sight, said Ken Curtis, a reservoir engineer. Flows may fluctuate between 800 CFS and 1200 CFS to maintain a consistent reservoir elevation. Record winter snowpack easily filled the reservoir and provided for a 52-day rafting season that ended May 25th, so the reservoir could be topped off. But lingering high mountain snows continue to provide ample runoff that is more than the reservoir can hold, so another release is necessary. Curtis said the 3-day release could extend to 5 or longer, depending on inflows and weather. The latest rafting release could be up to a week or 10 days, officials now have said. To accommodate boaters on multi-day trips, ramp downs for this release will be slower than usual, dropping 100 CFS per day to allow time for boaters to get off the river. Ken Curtis's update on June 3, 2017, indicated they began the ramping up release Saturday evening. Downstream releases reached the boatable level of 800 CFS by 9 a.m. Sunday morning and worked downriver close to Bradfield by 12 p.m. noon on Sunday. Again, note that during this extended boating release, flows may fluctuate between 800 CFS and 1200 CFS to maintain a consistent reservoir elevation. Boatable flows will last through at least Wednesday evening. Starting Monday, today, June 5th, they will post updates daily Monday through Friday. For that most current information, visit DoloresWater.com for their continuing updates. And now, here's our DCTV weather outlook.
The high pressure ridge we're under will remain for the next several days. Some isolated late day showers will be possible, mainly over the higher mountains and northern part of the state. Most of, if not all, activity will be in the afternoon as the heat peaks. No real or significant moisture is expected for our Dolores County Broadcast Network area. Warm and dry is the expected for most of the week. Today through Tuesday night, there will be some clouds and partly cloudy nights. Breezes of 5 to 10 will help you imagine you are cooler, but really you'll be drying out. So drink lots of water so you don't get dehydrated. 80-odd degree temperatures seem warm enough for me. But Moab and Grand Junction, as you might guess, will see mid-90s most of this week. Some upper 90s Wednesday and Thursday. Above normal highs and mild nights will allow high country snowpack to melt at an accelerated rate this week. Most rivers will run high and fast. Be very wary if you are kayaking, fishing, or hiking near the creeks or rivers. Avoid walking through fast-moving water and on banks where collapses are possible. Snags, fast-moving debris, cold water hypothermia, and a variety of safety hazards are present. Water temps are currently running between 34 and 46 degrees, and hypothermia is real. Never go alone and know what to do and be prepared before you go. The weather for the weekend is not yet clearly understood, as the path of a strong and unseasonably cold low is not yet sure, so we'll be watching that for Wednesday's broadcast. Unsettled weather will linger over the east for the next few days, especially New England. Mid-Atlantic showers and thunderstorms will be most active today along the frontal boundary, which is expected to move out to sea tomorrow. That will allow rains to end Tuesday morning, excepting the lingering instability could cause some afternoon scattered showers and thunderstorms both Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday afternoon. The deep south has, for the last few days, been under the influence of a trough that will begin to bring in tropical Gulf moisture to the southeast and Florida. This will occur over the next few days, reaching the Florida Panhandle by Wednesday morning. Widespread showers and thunderstorms will therefore continue into Wednesday across the deep south and into the southeast and down into the Florida Peninsula. A strong cold front is to bring showers and thunderstorms into the northern Rockies and northern plains today. Some will be quite strong, and it will move steadily eastward across the northern and central plains tomorrow, Tuesday. Then reach the high plains by Wednesday. As it has been with the last couple of days, so shall it be for the next 5, with highs all in the 80s ranging from 82 to 87. Lows will be mostly in the lower 50s, and Saturday night just a tick lower at 49 perhaps. Winds are expected to run at 5 to 10 for the next 3 days. Mostly sunny today and tomorrow, and then sunny days to follow. Now back to the news.
From the Cortez Journal, Dolores High School junior Bree Sukla has qualified for the National High School Finals Rodeo in Gillette, Wyoming for the 3rd year in a row. Sukla will compete in breakaway roping at the competition from July 16th through the 22nd. It's the 69th annual National High School Finals Rodeo. It's a great community to be a part of, Sukla said of the rodeo community. Sukla travels to Wyoming after winning a state championship in breakaway roping in New Mexico, where she competes in high school rodeo. She won the championship in Gallup, New Mexico during the state finals competition from May 24th through the 29th, finishing with a total of 116.5 points. Sukla said she has been riding horses since she was old enough to sit up. Her mother, Krista Sukla, also participated in rodeo events, so it was easy for Bree to get started. Bree Sukla said she is excited to compete in Wyoming again on her horse named Stuart Little. She enjoys going to national rodeo events and meeting different people from all around the country and as far away as Australia. It's a lot of love from the community, Bree said. To prepare for competition in Wyoming, Bree will be practicing roping for 4 or 5 hours every day with Stuart Little, a gray horse that she's trained on breakaway roping herself. Though Bree Sukla said there aren't a lot of high schoolers who compete in rodeo in the area, she encouraged anyone interested to get involved. She was an outsider when she first started competing in New Mexico, but the community accepted her quickly. Meet some people and make connections, Bree Sukla said. The rodeo community is very friendly.
Mauna Loa Observatory speaks and tells us that last week's CO2 average is in at 409.52. 1 week before was 409.96. 1 year ago, 407.62, and 10 years ago it was 386.92. Here's a little something to watch for soon. A long-growing crack in the Larsen C ice shelf, one of Antarctica's largest floating platforms of ice, appears to be nearing its endgame. Researchers with Project Midas, working out of Swansea University and Aberystwyth University in Wales, studying the shelf by satellites and through other techniques, have released new updates. The crack grew an amazing 11 miles in the space of just 1 week between May 25th and May 31st. 5 days ago, it had just 8 miles to go before an iceberg roughly the size of Delaware breaks free into the Southern Ocean. If it continues at that rate, it could have already done so by the time we finish the broadcast. There appears to be very little to prevent that iceberg from breaking away completely. The crack has now curved towards the front of the shelf and the ocean, meaning that the time when a major break could occur is probably very close. When it calves, the Larsen C ice shelf will lose more than 10% of its area. In the new configuration, it will be less stable than it was prior to the rift.
The Cortez Journal reports that a military surplus store is opening up on 11 North Broadway in Cortez. When one Four Corners military surplus store closed this year, the Borgen family saw it as an opportunity to start a new one. Christine, Roger, and Brandy Borgen bought most of the inventory of Alamo Military Surplus in Farmington after it went out of business. On Thursday, they used it to start a military surplus store on North Broadway. The store sells new and used equipment and clothing from cots to camouflage to canteens. It's open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sunday, and closed Mondays and Tuesdays. The Cortez family are not strangers to military gear, since Roger Borgen spent several years in the National Guard. His current job as a helicopter mechanic keeps him away from Montezuma County for months at a time. So even though the new store was partly his idea, Christine Borgen said he won't be heavily involved with running it. Instead, the couple's 20-year-old daughter, Brandy, will handle most of the store's day-to-day operations. While Christine Borgen has managed several businesses in the past, the store will be a new adventure for Brandy. Christine Borgen said she believes the store will fill a gap in Cortez area retail. There hasn't been a military surplus store here for quite a few years, she said. We figured this would be a good place to put it. Right now, the store doesn't have a permanent sign, just the words military surplus painted on the window facing Broadway. While they eventually want to get a better sign, the Borgans said they didn't do much to advertise the store before it opened, instead relying on word of mouth. Their opening day was slow, but Christine Borgen said she expects things to pick up as more hunters, campers, and military enthusiasts hear about it. The shop is located in what was once a Western goods store, but has now been empty for some time. The Borgens hope its location near the entrance to downtown Cortez will gain them some exposure. Prices vary widely in the store, but almost everything is significantly marked down from its original price. Brandy Morgan said products on sale include flags and insignia from many different military divisions, uniforms, shoes, canteens, helmets, and a whole room full of tents, cots, and other camping gear.
And now the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of May 29 through June 4. A report of suspicious activity on Road T. A deputy responded and contacted the subjects, who are working for Empire Electric, changing out meters. A report was received of a confrontation between a bicyclist and a pickup truck driver on Highway 145 north of Rico. The complaint is being investigated. A caller reported a piece of luggage in the road in the area of the Superette. Subjects who lost the luggage were retrieving it upon the deputy's arrival. And while on routine patrol, a deputy assisted a motorist with the changing of their tire on Highway 491. That's it for today's Roundup. Stay tuned for continuing updates throughout the week.
And here's today's High Canyon Country happenings. The 69th annual Ute Mountain Roundup Rodeo starts next weekend, and Rodeo Chairman Bentley Colbert promises another weekend of quality entertaining shows. The festivities start Wednesday, June 7th, with a chuck wagon barbecue kickoff at 6 p.m. at the Montezuma County Fairgrounds. Rodeo shows start Thursday at 7 p.m. at the Fairgrounds with a family night. Military Appreciation Night will follow on Friday at the Fairgrounds, and Saturday's show is the Tough Enough to Wear Pink Breast Cancer Awareness Show. Other events include a carnival, a kids' rodeo day at the Cortez Public Library, and the Rob Yates Memorial Golf Tournament. For a full schedule and more information, visit the rodeo website at utemountainrounduporg.wordpress.com. The Telluride Bluegrass Festival will be held June 15th through the 18th. The 2017 lineup has been announced, and it includes Nora Jones, Sarah Jarosz, Jason Rez and his super band, Brandy Carlisle, Dierks Bentley with the Travelin' McCouries, Telluride House Band featuring Sam, Bala, Jerry, Edgar, Brian, and Stewart, Dispatch, Yonder Mountain String Band, Sam Bush Band, Green Sky Bluegrass, Bella Fleck and Chris Tile, Elephant Revival, Punch Brothers, Hot Rise, Peter Rowan, Dharma Blues, Jerry Douglas Band, Tim O'Brien, Chris Tile, Abigail Washburn and Friends, Raylan Baxter, Fruition, Freddie and Francine, Lindsay Lou and the Flatbellies, Parker Millsap, the Erst Pointers, Fireball Mall, and the Telluride Troubadour. For more information, go to bluegrass.com/Telluride. And locally in Dolores County, the Community Voice invites everyone to join them on June 5th tonight for their resident team meeting at the Old Pinion Building. Dinner served at 6 p.m. and the meeting will run until 8. For more details on their work in the community, visit their website, dovecreekcommunityvoice.org. And if you missed any of those details, don't worry. All of the happenings are listed on the DCTV Facebook page. Check it out. If you have news or events information that you'd like us to share, send us an email at dcbnnews@gmail.com or call us here at the station. The number is 677-4119.
Thanks for tuning in. A reminder that this program is aired live at noon Monday through Wednesday and rebroadcast at 3 to 6, and again aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order.
And please check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Like us there, join the local conversation, and share it with a friend.
For Kinder Cook and everyone at DCTV News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, I'm Jerry Tope. Thanks for watching.